Hello buddy, it's vanburman here, welcome back to another video. Today I've been tagged once again by Interghost. Thank you very much for the tag, I appreciate it. I actually really enjoyed the video that I'm going to do now, of course, which is I think it's top 5 games that you never completed. I guess it's, or I'm already along the lines of never completed but wanted to. And obviously there's a few games that you can't complete, I guess, despite how many hours I put into Football Manager 2005, can never complete it. But no, I think it's more obviously the story-driven games and all that sort of stuff. So I have picked out 5. There are way more than 5, I must say, and unfortunately I don't have any of the game cases like Interghost. So yeah, because I've not kept any of that. I actually had a look through what games I have on my shelf behind me, and it's a Steelbook of Fallout 4, which I've completed, Kessen 2 for the PlayStation 2, which I've completed many times, and Total War 3 Kingdoms, which I've also completed. Only with the one faction though, but still completed. So I guess the first one is, or is going to be Zelda Breath of the Wild. So, not actually completed this one. I got right up to the end with, going into the castle, but I never really developed a good strategy to take down the ancient machines, of which the names have left me. But yes, I'm doing a lot better on it this time. Actually, I'm probably about halfway through to where I was before. Oh no, actually, I'm probably about halfway through the game. But I lent it to one of my friends over lockdown because he hadn't played it, hasn't completed it yet. And yeah, so I would have the case for that, but I don't. That is one I do intend still to complete though, so that one actually has a chance, one of the very few that has a chance of being completed. Sorry about that, the camera ran out of battery. So carrying on, the next one is a game for the PlayStation 2, which is Shin Megami Tensei? I don't know how you actually pronounce that, so I apologise if I've butchered anybody's native tongue. Lucifer's Call for the PlayStation 2. One of, the first Persona-esque games that I ever played, and one that I actually really ended up enjoying, but never managed to beat the final portion of the game. And a lot of that revolved around me trying to get Dante on my team, which is one of the things you could do, was like a special, cross-promotion character that was in there. But in order to recruit him, you had to go through an area of the world called Hell and defeat the devil, or get close to defeating the devil, something like that. And I think because I always struggled to do that, and that was one of the things I really wanted to do in the game, I never actually got through and went on to beat in the final portion of it. Also, my team was a bit weak compared to where it should be. Obviously, having Dante in there, I was hoping that would change things. And you also had to fight these weird skeleton guys as well, like this one on a motorbike, which is one of the first ones. And I really struggled against that guy for some reason for ages, and I must have gone away from it for a while, and then came back and fortunately did somewhat better. So the third game is Kingdom Come Deliverance. I still can't believe I haven't completed it, to be honest with you. I've put a good few hours into it, and I played it from launch, and I don't really know what happened. I sort of got all the best armour, pretty much all the best weapons, and I just sort of, I don't know, I sort of lost interest in it. As much as I really enjoy the game, and I will tell you that it's probably one of the best games I've played, and because it sort of encapsulates that kind of drama and gameplay perfectly well. Games like Mount and Blade, Mordhau, Chivalry, War of the Roses, they all fit a sort of vague genre that is sort of encapsulated by Kingdom Come, but in a first person, a single player game. So perhaps it's something I'll go back to. I would like to think it is, but yeah, it's with regret, that one, unfortunately. I suppose they're all with regret, but there you have it. So the second one, so the penultimate game is XCOM Enemy Unknown. Very much different to yours though, into Ghost, because this one is the new re-release one from 2K Games. And the one thing that I really like that they did with XCOM is they took the story for XCOM 2 based on the ability or lack of from players of the original game. So most people in their first playthrough did not get to the end and defeat the aliens in Enemy Unknown, including me. And I had a couple of goes at it, found it really tough, lost too many people on the council, and I even had a point where I was trying to do a really high level mission, and sort of a make or break mission, and I only basically had rookies left because the other guys were injured, wounded, or dead, obviously. They then brought out is it Enemy Within, which I've then subsequently completed, and I also completed XCOM 2. So goodness knows why I found the first one so difficult, but maybe it was more of a, added skill over time, or maybe actually the gameplay, I think, of XCOM 2 probably suited me a little bit better, being the infiltrator rather than trying to fend off the infiltrator. So the hunter class in that game is actually really good. You could gain some really good combos using that, take down enemies one hit most of the time. So yeah, that's with regret. I don't think I'd go back and play that properly again. I think I've had my fair share of fun on that. Maybe, I believe they've done a re-release on the Switch. Probably would play it on there, but I will not be spending £40 on it. That is for certain. And number one game. Now this game fills me with a lot of regret and a little bit of shame as well, I guess. More than any of the others, even though I've done playthroughs on some of the others. But that would be Legend of Dragoon for the PlayStation 1. Sony's answer to Squaresoft's smash hit Final Fantasy VII. And it is an absolute masterpiece of a game, really good. It fully encapsulates everything about that time within RPGs of that era for me. Even though a lot of people will be tempted to look at Final Fantasy VII, obviously, probably the most famous example, but Legend of Dragoon sort of takes it that next like little step, I guess, and it builds and copies of what Final Fantasy VII has done. So it's taken Final Fantasy VII, I think it's improved on it in many ways, and then released itself from a new angle, and it makes it like an entirely, great entity in of itself. And it is a shame that Sony didn't really carry on going down that route. So I got to the final disc on Legend of Dragoon, and I think it was just one of them where it became difficult for me, just too difficult, and I needed to have done some more grinding or whatever. I found myself, put myself into a situation where I didn't have enough healing items, and I'd saved. That sort of stuff happens on RPGs all the time, and which is why it's always good, to have a rolling save, so you don't end up having to go back too far, especially in those days. Nowadays, obviously, it's different. I do appreciate that, but I do also have a honourable mention, because this is a game that would be on here had I not have gone back, rebought it, and gone through the whole rigmarole of playing it many years later, and that was The Witcher 3. And the first time I played through it, I was too busy following, the quest line with Triss Merigold. There we go. Yes, and at one point you have to fight a vampire. So I fought this vampire. I must have missed something. I spent, hours trying to beat this guy in combat, and I just could not, because I couldn't do enough damage to him that would stop him from regenning, and I didn't have the required items. And unfortunately, the save point, or the bit I saved it, or the autosave, one or the other, I couldn't go back. So, yeah, just sort of blocked out of the game. I don't have the required skill to beat him without the item, and I can't go back and get the item. So yeah, there we are. That's it. They're my 5, plus a bonus. So 6 for the price of 5, or 6 for the price of none, maybe. So I guess the last bit is to tag 3 other people. I don't really have 3 other people to tag who would necessarily do the videos, but out of curiosity, Plagues, I will tag you to see if it's something that you fancy doing, because I'm sure you must have a list equally as interesting as mine, or equally as regrettable as mine. And anyone else who's watching it who wants to have a go, please feel free, send me a message saying that you've done it. I'll be more than happy to see what you guys have got, see if there's any similarities or reasonings behind why you didn't complete a certain game. And yeah, that's all for today. I'll thank Interghost again for tagging me. I do enjoy doing these videos. They are good fun, especially when I can, do a bit of a talk about sort of like old retro stuff. Retro to me, I guess, stuff. Yeah, just the one PlayStation 1 game in there, but still. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'll see you all very soon on the next video. Bye for now.